We're fortunate today to be joined by our 43rd District Court Judge, Judge Brian Hartwell, here to administer the oath of office to the newly elected officials, which is yourself, Mayor Mike Webb, Council Member Alyssa Sullivan, and Council Member Luke Londo, all returned to office by the voters in the city of Hazel Park. Who would like to go first?
Please raise your right hand. Do you, Luke Londo, solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States, Constitution of the State of Michigan, and will you faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Hazel Park City Council according to the best of your ability? I will. Congratulations. Please sign here.
Alyssa Sullivan, please. Is that your councilperson title? Good. And just bring it up.
Please raise your right hand. You, Alyssa Sullivan, solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States of America, Constitution of the State of Michigan, and will you faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Hazel Park City Council according to the best of your ability?
I will.
Congratulations. Mayor, would you raise your right hand? Do you, Michael Webb, solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States of America, Constitution of the State of Michigan, and will you faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Hazel Park Mayor according to the best of your ability?
I will, sir.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It's really complete the effect.
All right, Mr. Mayor, the oaths have been submitted. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to say thank you to Brian Hartwell, our honor here in Hazel Park, for coming out and doing the swearing in this evening. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Takes us to the election of Mayor Pro Tem. Do we have any nominations?
Mr. Mayor, I would nominate Mike McFall to be the next Mayor Pro Tem.
Support. Any other nominations? Being no more nominations are done. Now we can go for
And I move Mike McFall to be the next Mayor Pro Tem.
support. Any discussion about the nomination? And approval. Very none. Motion passes.
This is what happens when you don't show up. You're different duties.
Everybody's gonna like.
Yes.
Anyways, it takes us to the approval of the revised agenda with all the added items.
Move approval of the agenda as revised, Mr. Mayor.
Second.
Discussion, changes. Passes. Special presentation. Proclamation honoring one of our own. Whereas when Larry Henry Burleson passed away on September 28, 2021, at the age of 81, he left behind a legacy of dedication, volunteerism to Hazel Park spanning several decades. And whereas a member of the Planning Commission for over a decade, including several years as chairperson and vice president, he played an important role in shaping our city. Whereas there was an active member of various civic organizations, including the VFW, and the Hazel Park Lions Club. And whereas he personally helped to install dozens of wheelchair ramps in front of local residents' homes, making Hazel Park a more handicap accessible place to live. And whereas in addition to decades of local involvement, Larry served his country as a member of the U.S. Navy for 21 years. And whereas along with his wife Peggy, Larry Burleson was a true pillar of the community, and his passing representing not only a substantive loss to the city of Hazel Park, but also an emotional one for a lot of us. For the countless people whose lives he positively impacted. Now, therefore, be resolved, Mayor and Council of the City of Hazel Park, to hereby recognize many civic contributions of Larry Burleson, the man whose life served as a tremendous example for those to follow, who will be greatly missed, but never forgotten. Can I ask his wife, Peggy Burleson, please come to the podium?
Mr. Mayor, while Peggy's making her way to the podium, I just want to say, Larry Burleson has been an important part of this community for as long as I can remember, ever since I was a kid in the city. And when I think of community people and people who are important members of the city of Hazel Park, some of the first people I always thought of was Larry and Peggy. And like I said, I've known Larry Burleson since I think I was in junior high school. So maybe before that even. So
Elementary.
yes. So, what a great guy he was. And said I was going to tell a story here. I'm trying to do the right story. But I'll just say this, for many years, Larry and Peggy ran the beer tent at Hazel Park Lions Club during Memorial Day. It's a job that they took very seriously. And one of Larry's jobs was to act as security for the beer tent. A few years ago, but Larry was over 70. There was a younger man there who Larry was actually his wrestling coach when he was a kid. And all of a sudden, this man, he maybe had too much to drink, but he started acting like a fool. And he made the mistake of challenging Larry, who promptly whipped his ass. So it was a great day. We all thought that was wonderful. And, Larry promptly showed up the next week to court to make sure that, there were some consequences for the young man's action. But it was an example of who Larry was. Pretty much almost every ramp you see in the city of Hazel Park was built by Larry Burleson. Helping the handicapped was his passion, being of service in the Lions Club, being of service in the United States Navy. Every parade, we can count on Larry in his Navy uniform, which he could still fit into every year. I don't know if he actually had it altered or not. Only Peggy will know. But he fit into that uniform every single year, and he was at every single parade I can remember. Certainly as long as I can see man. So I want you to know, Peggy, that we love Larry. We feel your loss. We'll never forget him. And we're grateful for him, and we're grateful for you too, because you guys were such a great team together. You guys were like the husband and wife of I Love Hazel Park and Community Service. So you're always part of our family. We need you to stick around, and we need your leadership, and we need you to be a healthy, vibrant member of this community for decades to come. We love you very much. Sorry.
Always enjoyed working
Peggy,
with
you speak
you.
in the microphone.
No,
Everybody wants to hear what you have to say.
I got a big enough mouth, so I don't need a microphone. Larry enjoyed working with each and every one of you. He's worked with many, many residents in Hazel Park. He would help anybody do anything. And I believe he is in heaven. And he's up there working like he always has, helping somebody do something. I appreciated everybody that came to his funeral. You all helped me get through this. And if it was not for the residents of Hazel Park, I wouldn't be the way I am today, happy go lucky. Yes, I miss him. But we had a long talk before this happened. And he doesn't want me to be sad. He wants me to go on with my life, and I will. Anytime I can do anything for anyone, you have my phone number. You know where I live. I'm on Harding with the 2 lions in the front yard. Thank you very much, and congratulations to all of you.
Thank you, Patty.
This is to our second resolution. Whereas in 2021, the American Cancer Society estimates 60,430 adults will be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in the United States. And 48,220 will die from this disease. And whereas pancreatic cancer has the highest mortality rate of all major cancers, for all stages combined. The 5-year relative survival rate of only 10%. The majority of patients are diagnosed at the distant stage, for which the 5-year survival rate is only 3%. And whereas when symptoms of pancreatic cancer present themselves, it is generally at the later stage. And 97% of pancreatic cancer patients die within the first 5 years. Whereas pancreatic cancer is the leading cause of cancer death largely because there are no detection tools to diagnose the disease in the early stages where surgical removal of the tumor is still possible. And whereas symptoms of pancreatic cancer may include swelling, bloating, weight gain, sour stomach, abdominal discomfort, back pain, shoulder pain, development of type 2 diabetes, and some tumors that may cause. And whereas the good health and well-being of residents of Hazel Park may be enhanced with the direct result of the increased awareness about the symptoms and risk factors of pancreatic cancer. And research into early detection of effective treatments now therefore be it resolved, the city of Hazel Park hereby resolves that November shall be designated as Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month, and Hazel Park hereby designates Thursday, November 18th, a World Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Day of Hazel Park.
Mr. Mayor, again, sitting next to me is Melissa Schwartz, who lost her beloved husband Bruce due to pancreatic cancer. This is a very difficult disease to treat. You look at the symptoms for pancreatic cancer, and they're just about the symptoms for anything. So it's very difficult to detect the disc killer. So I would call upon representatives in Washington to recognize this disease and recognize the importance of increased funding, research into this terrible malady that really, there's not a lot of really effective treatments that work for the vast majority of people who are diagnosed. So anyone who is at home fighting this disease, you're in our thoughts and prayers. And, I'm speaking for Melissa, and I'll let her speak as well on this. Certainly, this is her cause. Make sure that you do everything you can to get into trials and go for an answer, and fight for your own, be your own best advocate, and fight for your own best interests, no matter what, because there's got to be a better way to work for civilization disease.
Thank you so much. I do want to say thank you to the City of Hazel Park Administration Council, all of the employees, fire, police, DPW, everyone that's been so supportive of Bruce and myself in the journey that Bruce was forced to take. I also want to thank Amy Krupe, Dr. Krupe of the Hazel Park Schools, and The fundraiser that we had last year was a great success. The combined efforts raised almost $15,000 donation from the schools and city. And I would like everyone to know that on Saturday, May 21st of 2022, from 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Hazel Park High School track, athletic walking track, we'll have the second annual walkathon for Bruce.org. And I would like to thank everyone for their support. This is very, very important. And finally, I just want to say, if you gain weight, if your stomach is bloated, if your ankles swell, your lower legs, do not let anyone tell you it's because you're fat or overweight, like they did my husband Bruce. That can be a sign of cancer, any cancer, not just pancreatic. So trust your own body and pursue, go to different doctors. Don't be fooled into this fat shaming game that happened to Bruce. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to call me. I'm certainly not a professional about it, but I'm passionate, and I will give you all the information that has been gleaned by the city, the school, and myself over the last few years. Thank you.
Your Honor, I move adoption of resolution 11-21-21.
Support.
The proclamation for Veterans Day. Whereas originally celebrated as Industry Day. Armistice. Following the end of World War I, Veterans Day has been an official holiday of the United States since 1954. Whereas Veterans Day is an important reminder to those great courageous service of the 19 million American veterans, as well as the 41 million who have served throughout our nation's history. And whereas we continue to draw inspiration from the heroism and dedication of those who have served with those who continue to do so. Now therefore be resolved that the Mayor and City Council hereby recognize November 11, 2021 as Veterans Day in the city of Hazel Park in the honor of extraordinary contributions of Hazel Park veterans and all those who have served in the United States Armed Forces. Motion to adopt.
Move.
Support.
Can I get everybody to stand and do a pledge of allegiance to the flag? In honor of that.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Civic announcements. I'd like to open up to anyone who has civic announcements. City. Volunteer groups. Anyone?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to remind everybody that this year's lighting ceremony is on Tuesday, November 23rd at 6:15 p.m. at the Hazel Park Ice Arena. So we'll be joined by a very special visitor from the North Pole who's coming to Hazel Park. And, so bring kids to see this very special visitor
We also have the free skating act.
and free skating afterwards.
Everybody can come and enjoy the ice arena for the night, and the kids, I hope the kids have a good time. Any other civic announcements from the audience? Your Honor.
Brian Hartwell, 43rd District Clerk. I want to thank you for running a really great election. I know the city clerk worked really hard to prepare a very professional, safe, clean election that with results that were reported quickly and accurately. It's one of the most important things we do as a government, besides public safety, is to actually get input from the voters on who should lead us. And it takes very dedicated employees. I had the pleasure of winning 2 elections last year, and I know how hard Jim works. And so please tip of the cap to your city clerk. Congratulations on the winners of this year's election, but also your challengers. Ran a very interesting campaign and motivated and inspired a lot of people to have positive conversations about this city. But you're a testament to the diversity and the creativity of this city. So congratulations and good luck in the next few years. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. And thank you for recognizing Jim Pinkley, who is often an unsung hero of the department heads. Usually when I look into the department heads who all sit on this side of the table, I sometimes forget him, and I want everybody to know what an outstanding, hardworking professional he worked.
Hard at work. He's always behind the scenes.
I have a civic announcement. Okay. I just wanted to remind everybody that I am honored this year through the partnerships from the Hazel Park Arts Council, the city of Hazel Park, as well as the Historical Museum and the Hazel Park Library. We have an interactive art installation. It's a living memorial outside of the Hazel Park City Hall here, right by our hometown heroes memorial out front. And it goes from, we installed it this Saturday and it goes through this next Saturday, and then it will move to the library where it will stay through the end of the month. And then it will move in perpetuity, it will stay with the Historical Museum, and it's called Tie a Yellow Ribbon. It's an interactive event where residents, non-residents, adults, children, anybody can come up, and there are provided yellow ribbons. There are markers out there, and you can write a thank you, you can write a veteran's name, and then you tie it to the installation, and it stays there. And it moves with the installation around the city. The goal of this is to commemorate veterans, both living and those that have passed, but also to continue to have this visual representation of their contributions to our community and how beautiful they really make our world, and really appreciate that. And I think that each person really experiences it differently, and I hope this kind of grows and develops as more people participate. So I hope everybody will take the time out to stop by and sign a ribbon and tie it on. Thank you.
There will be a job fair for Axel at the community center on November 17th from 10 to 4. It is on Facebook. We will post this again this week, reminding of the variety of jobs that will be there.
Thank you, Jeff. I had it here to mention that. I had it very. Again, we're working very hard to bring these job opportunities to Hazel Park, and when we get these job fairs, this is kind of like a heads up for our Hazel Park residents to get a leg up on these job application processes. So look, these are good jobs. Don't pass up this offer. I mean, right now, jobs are plentiful. Jobs may not be plentiful, pardon me, in 2 or 3 months. So this is a great opportunity to get a good job with a company that's a good company and pay a living wage that you can afford to have a nice life on. Please take advantage of this job application opportunity.
Open up the public discussion. Anyone from the public wishing to speak, please come to the podium, give your name and address.
I don't know if this is the right time. I'm Terry Sharp, and I'm tearing down the property at 515 East George Street. And it's already been decided that it needs to be torn down with project finish. However, when I got the letter, it says that the garage needs to be ripped down also. I was planning on rebuilding. I'm doing this for the owner. And I was just wondering if that can be discussed, because the garage is structurally sound and just saves a ton of money if that doesn't have to come down. I'm just gonna put another one up.
Anybody know the house?
Yes.
Why don't we have him?
Well, we have a review by the building department.
Right.
Because there is a problem sometimes with setback. And you maybe have to file for a variance to get a setback.
I know I'm gonna have to file for a variance because it's one of the small lots.
Well, it depends, because there are different setback requirements, size lots and size of buildings going on lots.
Okay,
So I think that's better understood and reconciled through our building department.
okay,
And Jeff Campbell can probably help you with that.
okay.
Thank you for your
Thank you
time.
very much.
Yeah, here, she's gonna give you, right, she's gonna give you her number, you can call her and we'll have you directed to where you need to go, and we'll evaluate it, and if we think that it's, we'll, right, we'll proceed accordingly.
It's easier to go through and we'll follow. I appreciate you don't feel satisfied with the year, then you come back up. If not, then you go to certain court.
Yeah, I think he just wants us to take a look at it and see if it's
I want
possible.
to make sure he knows all.
Yeah. No, because I think those already passed after the decision was made, so.
Thank you.
I think at this point, you are his court of last resort.
Those two, any other public sessions you went out there, want to come up and talk? Yes, ma'am. Discussion. Motion to approve consent agenda 1 through 10.
Mayor, I move to approve consent agenda items.
Second.
Before we go, I do have a question on consent agenda item 10. Casey, can you give at a high level what the $130,000 is for the budgetary changes from ARPA?
Isn't that a budgetary? Go ahead. I didn't know you. Go ahead.
The 135, excuse me, is going to be group programs, some of the, we have money to, cover some personal costs. All the,
I meant to ask her like.
Other comments about
Yes, I can
these
still
1 through 10? I also include the business license for 1587 and 1593 East State Mile, Lucky Label Clothing Store. Yeah. Do all the businesses up there. Okay. Takes us to motion for the approval. We've got a first, second, any dissension? Any more discussion? Motion passed. Please takes us to the public hearing for the 2022 Annual Community Development Block Grant CDBG funds application. Public hearing. Comments? Discussion about it? No one? Council?
Mr. Mayor, the administration respectfully requests approval as presented.
Mr. Mayor, I move approval of resolution 11-020-21 of the fiscal year 2022 CDBG application.
Questions? Any questions for Jeff?
I don't have a question.
Mr. Kim?
I just want to make a statement. I just want to again thank the administration for continuing our relationship with Haven and scooping out some of those funds to really provide that funding to Haven so that our residents still have access to those services they provide. So thank you so much.
That we're pleased to be able to do that in partnership with Haven and in partnership with Oakland County. Thank you, Jeff Campbell. This is an undertaking and it's a laborious task, and I appreciate our work on it.
Item 2, ordinance and amendment chapter 2.02 vacant abandoned structure, second reading, fee schedule.
Mr. Mayor, I believe you're familiar with this ordinance from the previous administration. Recommends passage on second reading.
Mr. Mayor, I move approval of the ordinance to amend chapter 8.02 vacant and abandoned structures.
Or
Item 3, ordinance to amend chapter 15.44 sign code on the first reading.
Mr. Mayor, Jeffrey Campbell is here to answer any questions you may have on this. I'll turn it over.
I'll just be very brief. So the last time we updated the sign ordinance in 2015, so we've had some changes, some loopholes we can note. We tried to address the loopholes, tried to make changes for instance, zoning districts that don't exist anymore. things of that nature, and address sign maintenance issues, what a wall sign, what constitutes a wall sign and what constitutes a banner. Get clarification on these things, and what's really signage we're looking for, trying to promote and trying to get rid of. Just be better stewards toward a sign ordinance. And I will say this, that it'll be forthcoming that 26 Harbor is going to have one of the kick-off signs. And that's what we want, right? We want something that advertises the business, but also enhances the community.
Wonderful. Thank you. Anyone?
Mr. Mayor, I move approval of the ordinance to amend chapter 15.44 sign code on the first reading.
Work. For discussion, comment? Discussion?
Again, Mr. Mayor, I want to compliment Jeff for his hard work on this. I know that we've had some inquiries from many of you on council and community about some of the non-standard kind of signs we're seeing popping up in the community. And now we're able to set the standard and it's really informative of our expectations.
Yeah, I just want to thank the team effort that constitutes the building department, the city attorney's office, all these people.
Melissa Schwartz and Amanda Mason, all two. Awesome. So, there's a lot of room.
This is to item 4, the ordinance to amend chapter 9.84 minors and parental responsibility first reading.
Mr. Mayor, Melissa Schwartz is here. She will update you on this and the reason for bringing this.
Thank you. Currently, we have 2 minors with tobacco, 9.90, and we have 9.4. And the penalties have been proposed to be amended to match those that are found in the Tobacco Act.
Mr. Mayor, I move approval of the amendment, the ordinance to amend the name and chapter of 9.84 and to amend section 9.84.030 to amend for penalty and violation.
Work.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, for clarification purposes, I'll let you all know that nothing prevents us from writing tickets under the current ordinances that we have. We're just bringing in the penalties to get compliant with state law. So it's not such. We can still write them, and this will be the fine that will be levied because of state law.
That's fair. We're moving on to the other.
I think we're moving on to that one now.
Item 5, ordinance to amend chapter 9.90 tobacco sale and use of by persons under the age of 18 first reading.
Council members, this one deals with minors with tobacco in the public. The 9.84 was minors with tobacco on school property. So once again, the penalties have been supposed to be amended to match those in the new tobacco.
Mr. Mayor, I move to amend the ordinance section 9.90.040.
Second.
For discussion purposes, just for public, this is defined as no more than $50 per incident in sanctions of each violation, and no more than 32 hours community service performed. That is the maximum. So that actually is fair on my book for any minor that is public, tobacco on school property or out of public. In discussion? Hearing none, motion passes.
Mr. Mayor, if I may speak to this issue just a little bit. We were approached by representatives of the school district, Superintendent Amy Krupe, and other members of the administration due to the fact that they've been having some difficulties with student conduct in the schools and in our parks immediately after school. So we've been working with them in kind of an ad hoc task force. I want to thank Melissa Schwartz, Amanda Mason, Jeff Campbell, Buchholz, Detective Xavier Piper, Detective Ian Brady, as well as Superintendent Amy Krupe and her team Candy Scholes over at high school and Barnett over at junior high. We've worked together to try to come up with an enforcement plan, a strategy to curtail this. And I lent my name to a letter that schools sent to all the parents in the district, informing them of the new enforcement protocols that have been implemented. Again, we're not doing this to be punitive, we're doing this to try to get a handle on some behaviors that are very dangerous. I saw a video of a fight that occurred after school, and it was very disturbing. It's the kind of a fight where a third person jumped in that could have created serious injury. Thankfully, that didn't occur in this fight, but I feel that it's important to take swift and decisive action to make sure that this kind of behavior doesn't continue. My primary responsibility as city manager, it says so right in the charter, is enforcement of all laws and ordinances in the city of Hazel Park. So I take that responsibility very seriously. And I want the residents to know we have resources if you feel you need help and assistance in dealing with your child. But unfortunately, too many times we see parents that are not putting in the effort to be a good and an effective parent. So we're going to have to take enforcement in those instances to ensure that you exercise your responsibilities properly. So I'm willing to take a call from anybody to explain this. And like I said, we're going to work some more, I think, with youth assistance too. I want to thank Melissa Schwartz, who's been in contact with Oakland Circuit Court and their officers to make sure this is a successful program. I think they're on board now, and we're going to be able to do some things locally, which is what we want. I'm very grateful for that. And I'll be getting with Andy Krupe as well, and Andy, I'm going to, I believe you're president of youth assistance this year. So I want to make sure that your group is involved in this as well. Try to create some resources for parents who may be having difficulty. And in those cases, obviously, we're going to work to make sure we get successful in that. So it's going to be a team effort, but I gotta let the parents in this community know there are behavioral expectations for your students. There are behavioral expectations for everyone. So we expect you to obey the law. We expect people to treat people with respect, and expect that the rules will be followed because it's a safety issue. So we have to engage in these enforcement protocols, and I hope that they're successful. Very hard to make.
I also want to put a thank you shout out to Rebecca Keaton at the 43rd District Court in Hazel Park. She has been instrumental with this process, and I just want to say thank you to Rebecca Keaton and to Judge Hartwell for allowing her to work so diligently on this when they're already strapped.
Yeah, she's been the acting court administrator, and she's just done a great job. So yeah, we're good.
No,
Right, thank you. Boards, commissions, anyone have any comments? Anyone? Move on. New business, anyone have any new business to bring up?
Congratulations, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations, Councilmember Lyon. Congratulations.
Communication from department heads, but I really want to spotlight on our unsung hero back here. James Binkley, our city clerk, and giving us time to shine here. And say thank you to him for handling the elections as well as he did every time. Would you like to come up and say anything, Mr. Binkley? Please come to the podium. Please. Oh, yes, give me the spotlight.
For those of you at home in the viewing audience who never actually see James Finkley, he's sitting behind that screen back there. This is James Finkley. He is our city clerk. Yes, he,
Well, thank you for doing a fabulous job this election. And hearing is so professional.
I would definitely like to thank all of the precinct inspectors and city staff and everyone who participates in election. Obviously, it takes a village in this case truly to make that happen. So I would definitely want to thank all the people that I work with in the clerk's office and all the others to make that possible.
And you know what, a little story about Jim Pinkley. He came to the city of Hazel Park just like Jeff Campbell and Jared Gajos and Serena Papakian. He was an intern in my office. And we knew he was, slated for bigger things as soon as we got to know him. And for a short period of time, he thought the grass was greener someplace else on the west side of the state, but he came on back and we were lucky to get him as our city clerk. Thank you for your service, James Finkley. I always call him young James Finkley in the staff meetings, and he was a young man, bright future, and doesn't make it.
So thank you all. Thank you to the winning candidate.
Thank you for your fine job. And opens up our other department heads. He's sitting in the back row there. Anyone come up and talk? Chief?
I don't really have anything.
I thought we'd hear about how good Halloween went.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Halloween did go well. Some thanks to people also. Our reserves were out for the trunk or treat. That went well. That was great. Saw some videos that look great also. And they were out Angels Night, Devil's Night, whatever you want to call it. No problems that night. Halloween went well. Yeah, it was a good weekend. So thank you to the reserves, MCSU, everybody else that helped out. Thank you. Thank you for the approval of the cell block cameras. They're broken, fixable, so thank you.
Anybody else from the department heads?
Very briefly, I'd like to thank you guys for coming out to dedicate Jeff Keaton. Very kind, well deserved, great mayor, great civic servant, public servant, and thank you for all.
Tim, Lacey?
Young.
All right, well, we're all doing
He
something.
always acts like he doesn't want to go.
But he comes up here with a stack of papers.
Yeah.
Always ready,
Always got stuff prepared.
always ready.
Just wanted to, remind the residents winter is coming and we'll be posting our, tips on how to keep your house safe from freezing pipes. Little things you can do. I also this time will include some photos of items you can purchase at your local hardware store to help out. Anybody has any questions or wants us to help with the walk around, just give the water department.
Like a lot of people, they don't know if they're toilet leaking or not. But go out and put a dye test just to make sure. And give you a heads up, they don't have that big water bill.
That's an easy one to do on your own. You can just drop some food coloring in the tank at night, and when you get up in the morning, if it's in the bowl, then you have a leak. Simple process to do. You can use any type of Kool-Aid works, lemonade, anything.
Thank you, sir. Any other department heads want to come up?
All right, this is, Lacey didn't come up, but I'll recognize her for the outstanding job that she's been doing, getting prepared for the audit and closing the books, and just a great job.
Real quick, we skipped over real quickly over the boards and commissions, but we do have a representative here from the historical commission who I harassed into coming tonight to update us. So I don't want him to miss out on that, on his update from the historical commission. No, I'm sorry, I didn't let you know before then.
I wasn't really sure if I got this.
No, he did say boards and commissions.
Yeah, but I didn't have. a
But
chance
I
to-
thought I heard him say appointment to boards and commissions. And I asked him, was, that's normally what we do, I go. It's perfectly welcome to come
You can-
By this time doing this.
Come on up. We'll be gentle.
Name and address for the record.
My name is Ben Crock, my address is 1406 East Myers. I am co-chair of the Hazel Park Historical Commission and currently.
Just a couple of updates about things going on at the museum. We managed to complete and catalog over 500 items with photos in a spreadsheet for the inventory. We're still continuing to go through backlog items that have been stuck in various places for storage. Lots of photographs, lots of research going into things, trying to figure out who's who, the pictures, and where they're from. Things like that. We did reestablish hours for operating the museum. The first Wednesday of the month, the third Thursday of the month, we're open 6 every day p.m. The third Saturday, we were open from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. That's my big work day there. Moving on, earlier this year, we were tasked with coming up with celebrations for the Hazel Park 80th anniversary. Through some of the research I've done on 80th anniversaries, I discovered that an oak tree is a symbol of an 80th anniversary. And a little side story is, in 1937, there was an oak tree in England that King Charles II hid in at the end of the war. And the seeds from that oak tree, the acorns, were sent to Royal Oak, Michigan, as a sister city to the city in England that it was. Royal Oak seeded the acorns, grew the oak trees, and in 1947, John Erickson and the mayor of Hazel Park planted that oak tree in front of the Erickson Museum, which was the Erickson Library. So, along with that story, along with the 80th anniversary symbolism of an oak tree, one of our plans is we're going to do a tree planting of an oak tree somewhere that is undetermined at the moment, to symbolize and celebrate the 80th anniversary. To commemorate some things within the city, I decided that I'm going to create, and I'm currently curating a space to establish a display of the proclamations and resolutions of the Hazel Park City Council throughout the year. So eventually I'm going to be requesting of the city council, mayor, manager, any specific proclamations or resolutions that have been passed that you guys would like to highlight in the museum. With that, I really want to portray the progress that the city has made from the struggles of becoming a city to where we're at today. A couple other things that we're planning is a photo contest, a kind of then and now. We've selected 5 photographs we're going to put out on social media, and if anybody can identify the photographs and recreate it to the best of your ability, then we'll judge it and we'll probably give out something along the lines of $50 for the winner of that contest. The last thing is, Commissioner Chris Goretti and I decided we're going to put together a first city council display for the Memorial Day Festival. So that's another thing we're going to do. So we have all of the documents. We have minutes and photographs and other memorabilia from the original city council meeting and the finalization of the city charter. We're going to create something that we'll be able to display at the festival for them. And that pretty much sums up the anniversary celebration. Pretty much the end of the update plan. So I'd just like to thank Chris Ruppy, Sue Hempel, Victoria Alcott, and myself for all our hard work to get the museum reestablished and operating. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ben.
Great, that moves us to communications from our city attorney.
I have nothing further than thank you again for the resolution and just all of the hard work that everyone does to support each other. It's an honor.
Thank you. The communications from the city manager.
Well, I have to say it, so I don't forget, Michigan system of municipal finance remains fundamentally broken as we sit here on this November day in 2000. And that's unfortunately been something that has to call on the city of Hazel Park manager. Today we get a chance to honor Larry Burleson, fantastic guy, and his loss It's a hard one for us all to take. We're blessed by the continued presence of Peggy and many wonderful things she does. Really Hazel Park. Very sad talking about the loss of Bruce Schwartz as well earlier, and the war against pancreatic cancer. And also, I must recognize the loss of former mayor Dan Parisi, who passed away after a very valiant battle with early onset Alzheimer's disease. Very sad. Just it was terrific to watch and extend sympathies to daughters and her grandchildren. And she was brave, she was smart, she's tough. She never had a problem looking residents in the eye and telling them they had to pay more. She never had a problem looking employees in the eye and telling them, unless you guys got to take a pay cut, this is what we got to do to survive. And she was part of the law and council of Andy McCurry and Mike Webb and Jeff Keaton, who we just talked about and honored another third of our community. And they really had to make some very tough decisions to make sure we're sitting here today. So again, big loss. We'll have her family out either next month or in January to accept the resolution. And hopefully next year will be filled with happier times. And we'll never forget wonderful people in the service. Thank you.
These are communications from our council on our council member Sullivan.
It's gonna take me first.
At the end of
I know, I saw you looking at me, I was like, man. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. I also want to thank everybody who voted this past election. I know there's been some discussion in our community about our low voter turnout rates compared to other communities around us. We've been doing ballot drives, we've done voter registration opportunities. And I just really want to reiterate to people, I myself felt that voting wasn't as important as I now understand that it is for a very large portion of my life. I did not exercise my right to vote, and I regret having not done that. And now I'm up here as a city council person who runs for re-election. So I know more and I understand better how important local government really truly is. And I know that we can do better with our voting rights. So I just want to remind people, if you don't understand how to vote or if you're confused how to vote, we have resources for that. If you're not registered to vote, you can come up to the city clerk and get registered at any time. Even the day of elections, you can get registered to vote here in Michigan. So it's really easy to do so. And I just want to encourage more people to really get involved and make sure you get out and vote. I also want to thank Peggy for coming this evening and thank her and her husband for their dedication to our community for decades and decades. We're really lucky to have you here, and glad that we could do a recognition of your husband's service. So thank you again. Also want to remind people that the Lions Club is always accepting new members. I'm filling out my application right now, and I'm going to turn it into Peggy. I had been a member previously and let my dues lapse because work. But the Lions Club is a great opportunity here in the community to get some service in and really give back to your neighbors. So they're always accepting new applications and new members. So look into that. They meet on Mondays at the first Monday of the month? Second and fourth at the rec center, and they have a spread for dinner. So you get to go in and have good conversation and a nice meal. I also want to remind people again, Veterans Day is coming up this Thursday, so don't forget to thank our veterans for their service and for their contributions to our community and to our country, and really the freedom that you have in situations like being able to vote or being able to run for office. So again, remind people, please participate with our art exhibit. I'm really excited about that, and I'm really grateful that I had the opportunity to bring that to our community. And I look forward to seeing it grow as we continue to bring it every armed services holiday. We plan to bring it back out and reintroduce it and have it continue to grow and really just be a living memorial to people. And that's it. I wanted somebody to stay safe and wash your hands, and if you're eligible for a booster, get a booster, and that's it.
Thank you, Mayor. Congrats to my newly elected and re-elected colleagues. So, interesting position up here. It was, we've mentioned, I just Campbell mentioned, sometimes when you serve up here, you have a couple of different things happening, and a couple of Saturdays ago, just like that. We dedicated Jeff Keaton Drive on a morning, Saturday morning, and on the same day, funeral for former Mayor Jan Parisi. So the things we participate, the good and the bad, the joy and sorrow. About Larry Burleson, the world has lost a model citizen. It's a fine example of being a neighbor and how to care for your city, and just general all around good guy. On my way here tonight, I almost hit somebody walking in the street. And this wasn't a kid, this was a man, mask, dark coat, dark jeans, bags of groceries. I know some people want to not walk on the sidewalks for some reason, but maybe you can get a little reflective tape or wear a bright color. I was so surprised by this guy practically in the middle of the street. So,
Receive a ticket for jaywalking.
and I recall some years ago, our police picked up a guy walking down Russell maybe in the middle of the street. And he had more himself for us. So whatever. I mean, I was just surprised. The time changed. I mean, maybe he didn't realize maybe he's always walking at 6 o'clock, and this time it was dark. It wasn't a few days ago. So watch out for people walking in the street, or don't be walking in the street at all.
There you go.
Also, if you love somebody, tell them. If you have children, hug them and tell them you love them every day. Thank you for everybody coming out participating.
So as many of you are aware, last week was a big week for the city of Hazel Park, and that's because it was Ed Klobuchar's birthday on Friday. Happy belated birthday, Ed.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
I'd also like to recognize James Finkley for his work on the election, safe, secure election, and expeditious results, which is one of the candidates I appreciate not having to spread it out for a long period of time. Additionally, I'd really like to thank the Sucharak Meyer Foundation. Hazel Park's most critical resource is our children, and their $75,000 investment in the Hazel Park Common Zone is a really, really big deal. And in addition to that, they did approve a challenge grant in the amount of $25,000. So what that challenge is they are looking between now and December 31st next year for new individual corporate or nonprofit donors, or increased donations from existing donors. It will match up to an additional $25,000. So for those here tonight, those watching at home, please give until it first. But again, thank you to the Sucharak Meyer Foundation for investing in our next generation. Lastly, last week was a big week for the city of Hazel Park. It was about, I think, 9 to 10 months ago, I received 4 votes for city council. Thankfully, it was the 4 people who are deciding on filling a vacancy, and I was always grateful for their confidence. But receiving the votes of our residents was truly an honor and a privilege. And being city council member was great, but being an elected city council member is probably the best thing that's ever happened. So thank you to the voters as well as those here.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to thank once again everyone for coming out, participating in our democratic process as our former Mayor Keaton, who saw us say up here, and many other mayors before me. I'd like to say thank you to my colleagues for supporting me, and welcome and congratulations back to the board. I also want to say thank you to Peggy Burleson for the city, from the city, for sharing Larry with us all those years. And your commitment to be by his side, working to help grow our community, is a tribute to you as well. How much your dedication reflects on the heartwarming people of our community. You know, one thing I've always said, Hazel Park is beauty of its own. We can all agree to disagree and have a fight out on board, social media, or out in the street. They always come up shaking hands and being friends. We know how to put our bygones behind us, no matter who you are. But Larry was the guy that everybody respected, no matter what. He was the man that was Hazel Park, in my eyes. And I think many others. And I want to pass it along. I want to thank all the veterans that served from our community, past and future, present. That we will strive to be a better country because of you, your sincerity, and growth in our community as young men and women, and as of the older ones to learn to teach the younger ones how our city can be. That's how we are. We all learn from each other. You know, like it was said earlier, it takes a village to help grow our children and even young adults to see the future and how best we can serve one another and help our community. I'd also like to say, you know, Jan was a great person, who was fortunate to serve with her for many years. And we had a great council back in the time when we had many struggles. There was another man that has contributed a lot over the years, that served with us, Tom Selman. Mr. Carroll, Councilman Carroll mentioned a little quote he used to always say. He's carried on that tradition. And I want to say thank you, Councilman Carroll, for continuing that tradition. My honor. It is. It's a pleasure to hear it every time. Because it just makes us wonder and think, again, about our children, future of our community, the future 20, 30 years from now. Maybe something we said helps someone makes that change, helps someone for a better, maybe think about the future of their kids, help someone else. And to think of the commitment of our city staff, council, administration, for how they conduct themselves here on a daily basis. I've not, you know, always had a tough job to say no to some people or help them through a tough time in our city offices. Not everybody's happy when they come to the city desk or clerk's office. They got problems. You know, hopefully our city staff is able to help them work through them. I don't get as many phone calls as I used to. So it kind of tells me that things are actually working a little smoother. So, but all in all, I think our city's moving in the right direction. We have a future ahead of us. We've changed a lot. If you look back 10 years and where our city is now 10 years later, with the new developments and the new job opportunities here in our community, and we're hoping that our people here in the city, Hazel Park, will take advantage of the job fairs that we've pushed and try to get these new corporations, international corporations, to provide these good opportunities for our residents. And I hope our residents are ready to stand up and take those opportunities on at first. I'd like to get a motion to adjourn and let's thank everybody.
Motion to adjourn.